Hello, dear ones. It's so good to be with you today on this week leading up to one of the most important Sundays in the calendar at Unity Church, which is Arthur Foot Sunday, when the service is full of all of the incredible musical offerings that Unity can provide. We have choirs and we have individual solo performers, and Ahmed has created a program that really is trying to give expression to all that we've experienced this year and all that we're leaving behind. So I'm so excited to be seeing it, and I hope you will gather with us next Sunday. But it got me to thinking about what is soul music. So I want to give you three different examples. One, when I was growing up, I grew up in a family where we went to church every Sunday. And we were a rowdy family of 3 boys and 1 little girl. And on Sunday mornings, my mother would get up and she would put on one of Bach's Brandenburg concertos. And we always knew that that meant she'd put the Sara Lee coffee cake in the oven and that we were to get up. And it was just Pavlovian. Every Sunday, there was one of the concertos on the record player, one of those beautiful angel records, which only made classical records then. And my mother cherished her Brandenburg concertos. Now imagine being a classical music lover and having rowdy children that were always into trouble, always making noise. And so those Sunday morning moments were absolutely sacred for this classical musician and classical music lover. And she would get up and listen to the music herself and then would slowly turn it up, which was our Pavlovian sign that it was time to wake up. And I think about soul music and what nourishes us, what catapults us back to the past, and what just grabs hold of us. And I remember meeting with Sharon Merritt and her 2 wonderful daughters, Anne and Kari, as they talked about the music that was important to Tom as we were planning his memorial service this fall. And Kari and Anne sharing that every Sunday morning as they were getting ready to go to church, Tom would play on the piano the Navy hymn. He was a Navy man himself, and he loved the Navy hymn. And so it was important to the family that we had the Navy hymn played as part of his memorial service. And we played a lot of music that was really important and sacred to Tom. That was his soul music, and also for the family. But it was when we played that Navy hymn, that Sunday morning wake up with love song that their father played for him, that Kari and Anne could allow themselves just to cry. So I think about the different ways that soul music captures us, and I want to end with this story. It's a different kind of being captured. It's about joy and how our music can capture us in joy. So the first job I ever had was as a volunteer in a summer Head Start program in Cincinnati, Ohio. The head of this program was a very earnest and dedicated Episcopalian priest. He was absolutely dedicated to his work and his craft as an educator and to working in Head Start in the summer instead of taking the summers off. But he was earnest almost to a fault. There was not a lot of joy in his classroom. And there were 5, 6, and 7-year-old kids in this classroom and a number of volunteers and aides. And one day, one late morning, a car pulled up next to the school with a radio blaring. And it was Martha and the Vandellas singing Dancing in the Street. And we all of us, everybody in the classroom except for the teacher, you could just feel us like, oh yeah, because Motown is some of my soul music. And the kids started kind of twitching in their desk. And uncharacteristically, Mr. Cox said, all right, why don't we take a break? And if you'd like to dance to that music you're hearing outside, you are welcome to dance. And the next thing you knew, those kids were dancing. And then the next thing you knew, they had jumped on top of their desks. And they were dancing with such abandon and such joy. And it was so wonderful. And the aides were dancing and the volunteers were dancing. And we just had this wonderful moment. And it was over when the song was over and the car pulled away. But it was as if that car knew that we needed a little joy in that classroom. And because that classroom was never the same when that soul music brought joy into the classroom, because even this earnest teacher, Dr. Cox, understood that the kids need a little joy as part of their classroom activities, that they needed joy to be woven into the learning environment. And after that, there was joy every day in the classroom in some form. So what is your soul music? What has nourished your soul and your spirit in this year of such upheaval and demands and time of weariness? And I know that I am nourished by classical music, by folk music, by congregational singing, by the choirs of Unity Church, by Motown, by rock and roll, by rhythm and blues. There's so many kinds of music that I love. But one of the things that Rob and I will miss the very most is singing with you as a congregation. Because I must confess, when we came, you left the singing up to the phenomenal choirs, and they were all good. But slowly and surely, it's become much more of a congregationally based activity. And what I want for you is to just keep singing. Keep singing, even when you don't have the voice for it, even when you don't have confidence that you can sing. If I can sing every year to the Bridging Teens, you can sing in a room full of other people singing. So join me in thinking about soul music this week as we prepare for Arthur Foot Sunday. Thank you for being with me today.